Good morning, you beautiful people. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. Welcome back to another episode of Building the Perfect Call of Duty, a series in which I take the best parts about every single Call of Duty and imagine the perfect Call of Duty according to myself. This episode we are going to be talking about guns, not necessarily gun balance, but more so like gimmicky guns and gun types, more like classes of guns and that sort of stuff. In the background you are going to see my first ever game with the M1 Irons, a very gimmicky gun in Advanced Warfare that I find suits this perfectly. So taking a step back from gimmicky guns in particular, I want to talk about how we should do gun balance in Call of Duty, and where does that start? Where does that gun balance start? Well, it starts with the time to kill. Now, I am going to do a separate video on time to kill overall. However, I do want to say that the time to kill should be on the quicker side of things, and this is true. There hasn't been a Call of Duty where the time to kill has been purposefully set to like very slow, like Halo type levels. Call of Duty's time to kill has remained the same throughout the titles, so well, with the hit detection and lag compensation, kind of mixing it up there, but that is for a different video. So for all intents and purposes, the time to kill is going to be the same Call of Duty time to kill when we're discussing weapon balance. Alright, getting right into it, we are talking about the weapon classes first. Which weapon classes would we like to see in our perfect Call of Duty? Obviously, we are going to have assault rifles, some machine guns, shotguns, and sniper rifles. Now, there is a couple other classes there which may or may not actually make it in. Light machine guns, especially in Call of Duty Ghosts, have kind of fizzled out for me. In Modern Warfare 3, I feel like they were perfect. I feel like the perks in that game, the kill streaks in that game, something about Modern Warfare 3, could have been the maps, made light machine guns good enough to where you could use them, but slow enough to where you would have to play a certain way. And maybe that's what I don't like about the light machine guns. They are so slow to aim down sights and so slow to move around that it almost encourages camping. Now, I'm not one to believe that slow things encourage camping by any means. I've made that video before, but there's just something about the light machine guns where the most viable way of using it is with Stalker and Quick Draw and the fast perks. And if you're not using those, then you're probably camping, which is not something that I would like to have. However, if we could fit light machine guns in our perfect Call of Duty, which I think we can indeed have those in there. Moving on to one of my absolute favorite, could be my favorite classes, is the marksman rifle. This was absolutely genius of Infinity Ward to get down. Some guns like the SVU from Black Ops 2, the MK14, just don't quite fit in the assault rifle category. They're just not right, and especially the MK14 in Advanced Warfare is a huge example of just how bad an assault rifle can be when it is a 3-hit kill and semi-automatic. And if we had a marksman rifle class like we had in Call of Duty Ghost, with a 2-hit kill base and a 3-hit kill at long distance, with some of the light machine gun, sniper rifle aim down sights, movement mechanics, I think that is the perfect balance, and I think Call of Duty Ghost did it perfectly. You will hear people say that those guns were incredibly overpowered. However, I will argue that people love using the things that are overpowered. Just look at Advanced Warfare. People are using ASM-1s, BALs, I guess HBRA-3s and AK-12s are now viable, at least a little bit, but that's all they're using. There's not any XMGs, there's no MK14s in Advanced Warfare, and so in Call of Duty Ghosts, there really wasn't that much marksman rifles. So for that reason, I do not believe they were overpowered. They were very strong at that middle to long range, but they really struggled at that middle to close range, and that is exactly the role they fit, and I think that is absolutely perfect for our purposes for the perfect Call of Duty. As far as the next class of weapons, the special weapons, the riot shield, I think it's fine. In addition to that, the crossbow, what else did we get? The ballistic knife, you know, those sorts of things, the miscellaneous, I don't know what to categorize this as. That I feel is perfectly fine. Some special weapons can be very cool and fun. My only issue with that is that they're not really viable. You know, you can watch my riot shield review from way long ago. I might do that actually again. It's just the most painful weapon to use. Maybe if the challenges weren't necessarily the same as like getting kills or stuff, but there is a place in Call of Duty for those special things, but I'm not entirely sure where exactly. But I would rather have them in there than not have them in there. And now we get to the more details of this create a class sort of thing, starting with the sniper rifles. The sniper rifles are a very, very touchy subject, and I do want to touch on quickscoping and sniping and all that sort of stuff on a different video, so don't start the flame wars yet down there in the comment section, Jamskis, okay? I know you quickscope and you're good at it, but we gotta have a balance there at some point. And I think the thing that I really wanted to touch on with the sniper rifles is whatever the time to kill is for the regular assault rifle submachine guns in their respective ranges, that's what it should be for sniper rifles. Now that's gonna be hard to do because sniper rifles are one-hit kills. However, the way you balance the time to kill in a one-hit kill weapon is its aim down sights time. So if we have a very long time to kill, then, or like people seem to want lately, if we want a really long time to kill, like 5 shots to kill, you're going to need to decrease or increase the amount of time it takes you to aim down sights with a sniper rifle. If you don't do that, if you keep the aim down sights time the same speed as it is now, but then increase the time to kill, then you are creating a power weapon. Then you can actually snipe people even when they have the first shot on you, because your sniper rifle can pull up quicker, then you can actually die, which is something that Halo does with its rocket launcher and sniper rifle, and something we should not have in Call of Duty because we want the most weapon variety out there. And perhaps I should have mentioned this at the beginning of this episode. The whole goal behind balancing these weapons is to create the most weapon variety we've ever had in Call of Duty. As many guns viable as possible, as many guns as we can get viable as possible. When talking about secondaries now, moving on to secondaries, I want to talk about pistols and rocket launchers. Rocket launchers, I think it's a very easy thing to do. Call of Duty Ghosts didn't get this right. I don't think there has been a Call of Duty to get this right. Drifter said maybe Black Ops 3 has gotten it right. I do not want any sort of free aim trolley RPG type rocket launcher as a secondary. I don't want it. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's viable. I don't think it improves the game. I think it only takes away from the game. Sure, it does feel different without those secondaries being in there as launchers, but we gotta stop the trolling. The trolling is not a viable, fun playstyle. It brings the community down. It is a bad time when playing this game, so taking away those rocket launchers will definitely help that. The difficult part now comes when deciding whether or not we want a lock-on launcher, because in Call of Duty Ghosts, this was so fantastic. We had launchers, yes, and they were free aim launchers. They were the trolley type, but there was absolutely no lock-on launchers. The only lock-on launcher that was in the game was the Maz rocket launcher, and that was a 9-kill streak in the support streak system, which I dearly loved. The reason being is that when you have a lock-on launcher available from the get-go, from a create a class standpoint, whenever you call in a big bad kill streak, people are simply going to switch to that and take you down really, really quickly. And what this does, it takes away from the fun of kill streaks, it takes away from the balance of kill streaks, and especially in games like Modern Warfare 3 and Call of Duty Ghosts, where you did actually have spawn protection, it made it incredibly too easy to take down air support. However, if we don't have a lock-on launcher as a secondary, naturally you guys can think that there is going to be some sort of negative effect on this. If we have insanely overpowered kill streaks like we do I don't know, any kill streak I guess could be overpowered, but if you take like a chopper gunner, like a Modern Warfare 2 chopper gunner or Harrier, and it's just so powerful and there's just no place to hide, like the clown map that we have in Advanced Warfare, then that is unbalanced, and that's not fun either. So it's a really big pickle. It's going to revolve on the map design, it's going to revolve on the killstreak design, whether or not we have those lock-on launchers in there. Pistols are another very difficult one to balance, because, well, at least from my point of view, because personally, I'm not the biggest fan of pistols in Call of Duty games. They do a good job of cleaning up people with your sniper rifle if you get a hit marker or something, or if you need to pull it out and you know you're going to get an engagement. They do a pretty good job, at least in Call of Duty Ghosts, but I want to highlight Modern Warfare 3's pistols because they just did a fantastic job. The 44 Magnum, being able to spam it so fast and with a high damage handgun like that, it's very, very fun. Desert Eagles, a little bit more ammo, a little bit slower fire rate, same high damage. That was fantastic. You have the 5.7, faster fire rate, lower damage, lower recoil, that sort of stuff. I think if you take the Call of Duty Ghosts, the Call of Duty Ghost pistols weren't that good. If you take the Modern Warfare 3 pistols and put them in the perfect Call of Duty, that would be an amazing, amazing thing. I forget exactly, but like I mentioned, the 5.7 Desert Eagle and the 44 Magnum in the Modern Warfare 3 was so much fun. And finally, let's bring back some machine pistols, for crying out loud. I loved machine pistols. Machine pistols were so much fun, and they were incredibly useful as almost viable primaries in some cases. Going back to Modern Warfare 3, as I said before, I think those were nearly perfect. The FMG9 Akimbo and the MP9 were very, very strong indeed. I do not feel the MP9 was overpowered. It was just very good at that medium to close range. Probably close range, close to medium close range, I want to say. Machine pistols, in my eyes, in order to remain balanced and useful, they need to be like a little bit under averaged submachine guns. Like if you are close to people, they should work like a submachine gun maybe, but you should have to have the first shot on them without a shadow of a doubt. At least that is where I'm at right now. Like I said before, I haven't had a whole lot of time with pistols or machine pistols, so that's where my mindset is at right now. Taking a step back off of secondaries, moving back onto primaries, because I didn't forget the shotguns. The shotguns in Advanced Warfare are trash. They're garbage, they're useless. One of my favorite things to do in Call of Duty is shotgun. And while it's the funnest thing I've done in Advanced Warfare, it is probably the least viable thing I've done in Advanced Warfare. The S12 requires you, it's an 8-hit kill shotgun, which is difficult to even wrap my brain around it. Sometimes I will get 8 hit markers with an S12 from close range. From close range. It's ridiculous. They are incredibly inconsistent, stupid, useless in Advanced Warfare. In Call of Duty Ghosts, I want to say they were near perfect. The only problem being is that there wasn't a lot of them. This is something that has plagued Call of Duty ever since Black Ops 2. We have gotten at max 4 shotguns. That's pathetic. We've gotten like 6 sniper rifles. We even, it's just so terrible. We need more shotguns. We need more shotgun variety. Again, looking back to Modern Warfare 3, that was where we had the best shotguns in my opinion. Now those were incredibly overpowered with those small maps, and they were actually a lot more powerful than they were in Call of Duty Ghosts. But in Call of Duty Ghosts, the actual power of the shotguns might have been a little bit less powerful than I would like to, but they were borderline close. They were very, very usable, and if anything, I want the Call of Duty Ghost shotgun damage profiles and range profiles mixed with the Modern Warfare 3 shotgun types, the AA-12, the US-12, I forget what else was in there, the SPAS-12, the KSG, oh, that was such a fantastic weapon. And now moving on to gimmicky weapons. I've basically told you what I want to see out of each and every class in Call of Duty, in my perfect Call of Duty. Now I want to talk about gimmicky weapons. This is something that I would have never imagined would have been a problem, but Sledgehammer Games really worked on Advanced Warfare for 3 whole years and created the worst weapon balance we've ever seen. And I just do have to talk about it. Every single weapon in Advanced Warfare, except for a very small couple, are gimmicky and are only supposed to be used for fun and not taking yourself seriously, unless you are using like an AK-12, an HBRA-3, an ASM-1, or what else? Did I miss something? An AK-12 BAL or something around those lines. You are basically getting a gimmicky weapon. There is no real purpose behind using the EM1 on consoles. I know on PC it's the best, but the EPM3 is laughable. It's just the worst. The dual-wield SAC-3s that they made, they made the SAC 1.3. It's just, they're all gimmicky, they're all unnecessary. The M1 Irons is a huge representative of this, and it's very, very disappointing. The viable gimmicky ones would probably be the Ohm, because it has a good damage, good rate of fire, with a good amount of recoil, but it has good damage, so it brings it back. What else are some gimmicky ones that are pretty good? That's really all I can think of. Maybe the TAC-19 might be the best shotgun, and it shoots like air, even though it's technically still pellets and whatever. But honestly, other than that, I mean, you have the XMGs, which with hipfire, it is literally a random weapon, so you're not gonna be able to tell if you're gonna get a kill or not. The way you really get gimmicky weapons down, I'm not against gimmicky weapons. I like gimmicky weapons. However, I like balanced gimmicky weapons. You see, balanced gimmicky, that's so weird to say, gimmicky weapons include the chainsaw from Call of Duty Ghosts, completely viable at a middle range, completely viable for a competitive scene. Really, the Honey Badger, the VKS, very, very useful with a good amount of trade-offs. The Ripper you can also classify as a gimmicky weapon. It had an integrated red dot sight on it. You couldn't put any sort of optical sight on that weapon, so that is a gimmick, I guess I would say. So that is how you do it correctly. Of course, there are plenty of examples of how to do this incorrectly, and all I want in my Call of Duty guns is balance. I don't care if they're integrated silencers, if they're integrated red dot sights, if I have to run around with a chainsaw with tighter hipfire spread and mow people down from a mid-range. All I want is viable, fun, different, and balanced weapons. So keeping in mind we're talking general terms here, not really getting into super specifics quite yet, what do you guys want to see in your Call of Duty weapons? I want to see, like I said before, good variety as well as good balanced weapons, and I do like the gimmicky stuff when it's done well. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? What would be your perfect Call of Duty? Thank you guys so much for watching. I still can't get over the 300 subscribers. That's so fantastic. Thank you guys so much, and until the next absolutely beautiful Call of Duty morning, I'll catch up with you guys later. And as always, have a great day.